could. Will they see?
Is this all of these are for?
Yeah, they're all the same thing. Yep.
Good thing we didn't do any more.
That's right. We got them up real quick. Where's the fourth song?
Oh, I put it up over there.
Oh, it's over there. Okay. Hope you didn't get the splinter. Okay.
Thoughts on this? Thoughts on this? Good idea?
I think so.
Waste of time?
Good look. Good look.
Okay.
You gonna hand me half of that?
Hey, yeah. Here, take these. I'll grab the others. What's the back of your shirt say?
Yeah, he said that.
Says Andrew Yang, the only candidate who can
We
unite a
couldn't put it
YouTube
out there because,
comment
you know,
section. 'Cause it's true.
Ben Carson might get upset. Like,
Right.
like I don't really care if Ben Carson is, but okay.
Ben.
All right, what's up, stream? I just got a new
Yeah,
text
Ben, like, I was
message
like,
from Senator David Perdue. Let's see what it says. It says, Linda, it's David Perdue, the original outsider. The left is trying to steal my
I
seat
know,
for a
right?
liberal with an eye for socialism. Defend Georgia.
We definitely should.
I don't know why I got that. But what's up, everybody? Just trickling in. We're here at the Washington, D.C. Basic Income March, where they unfortunately had a beautiful setup right around here. But because it is federal property, the feds had us move our demonstration area here with our signs. And we have these flags here that talk about eviction notices, because as all of you know, we're at a time where currently, like in August, I think it was 33% of Americans couldn't afford their housing payments. And so basically, there's going to be a little rally / speech here. And then, oh wait, is the stream not up? I don't know. Oh, it's up? Okay, cool. Someone said it was down.
I mean, I'm in the process.
Okay, bet. So then we're gonna have like a little rally / speech here, led by a very special guest who we're gonna introduce you guys to in a minute, and then we're gonna walk down, starting here, for universal basic income. You think Twitch is down, but YouTube is up? Oh yeah, we're just on YouTube right now, and love you too, Humanity Forward.
I mean, honestly, I don't.
Here we have a very special guest.
Like I used to do.
Yang Gang's very own Reverend Wendy Hamilton.
Hey, Yang Gang! In the building. I just messed this up. Getting biked up. Ready to march in DC.
How long are these going to be? I'm satisfied with my work.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh!
Oh man, I live near DC and I'm super active on Twitter. How did I not hear this was happening today? Oh no. You should still come on down if you can.
Okay. All right, so it's about 10 after 2, so we'll wait about 5 more minutes or so, because again, huh? Only 10 after. We had around about 40 people who signed up to come to this one, and we had some folks that were over from Virginia. So the Northern Virginia Yang Gang, they did kind of a gathering this morning, and then they were going to come over.
March or Metro.
Yeah, March / Metro over. But
Right.
How long is it going? I'm not sure. But I'm going to be here the whole time, so you would know where our event is the whole time, because you'll have a live feed through it. So, oops, and our sign just fell again.
I am well. How are you? Good. Can you hear me? I'm great. Test 1, test 2. Check 1. Mic check.
how many people attend. So apparently 40 people signed up. And I'd say right now we have about 10 or so people here. But then there's another event where the Virginia Yang Gang met up. And I'm not sure how many of them signed up for that one. But they should be joining us. So I'm not sure how many we'll end up having. Hey Matt, don't see any Volvos here. Yeah, COVID definitely has an effect on the turnout. It's a really nice day out here though. Like, seriously can't be beat. Look at the blue skies. Put the money in our hands. Put the money in our hands.
That's it. You know, just like Trump's inauguration, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands. You couldn't even see the back of
That was the biggest march that we've ever seen in this city, I'm pretty sure.
on this block.
Right here. At this very minute.
At this second in
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people, you know, they signed up on the national database to come, and yeah, it was kind of like, well, do we march? What were we going to do? I know last year we did a march. I did actually did the march in New York. I went for Andrew.
Are we having a war over like COVID in the chat?
York, but DC, Steve was in that one. And so they marched from Virginia.
We met near the World War II Memorial and marched over to the Martin Luther King.
Okay. But one of the
Had a
reasons.
little rally near the World War II, and I spoke and two other people spoke. My new book.
He's got it ready so he can do his speech.
I write about basic income. Published the first book about it in '98. Long time EBI.
What have been your sources for research for these topics?
Well, I've been involved with the Basic Income U.S. network since it was formed in 2000, and I've given talks at the international meetings in 2002 and 2008 in Europe and in Canada in 2014. So I know all the leading economists and social scientists. But this book is really written with the goal of movement building. So it presents it as a conversation, asking readers to actively think about what it would mean for you if you had a basic income, and can you envision how this would lead to peace, justice, liberty, democracy, and personal dignity for everyone. And I have extra copies of the book, selling them for just $20, so $8 less than the cover price.
Really? I'll call.
Great.
Absolutely. I mean, can I buy one right now?
Yeah.
Can I get you to sign it?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to read it. I've been looking for literature on this topic. There's some stuff.
Well, I modestly believe this is by far the best and most accessible and most comprehensive.
Do you have change? I actually have 100.
I can't change it.
Okay. Alex, do you have any?
Yeah,
What do you got for me, dude?
Let's take a look here.
I have $15 and also an 100.
Yeah, he is.
Let's see.
Yeah, they did.
Do you drink Venmo?
No, I want to get that set up.
Okay. Well, we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll see next week.
Like just last night. Said they were coming over. Yeah. So that's why I was trying to say to you on the phone. If you want to come to the phone.
The Portland March has been postponed till the 26th. Interesting.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because they called, they just messaged me, said they were chatting somebody. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the talking part, and then we'll allow people to. Is the mic on? Testing. Okay, all right. I'm going to stand over here. No, we have
We're good, Matthew Roller. How are you, bro?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Basic Income March DC. My name is Reverend Wendy Hamilton, and I am so pleased to have you all here today. We are here because we in this group believe and understand that universal basic income is the necessity right now. This is the time that we need to be putting money, cash money, into the hands of every single American who needs it. Now more than ever, we are in a place and time where we need to bail out our people. We spend more money on bailing out corporations than we do on bailing out human beings, and that is not the foundation through which this country was built on. And so today, in light of everything that's happening in our country, we are doing what we can to raise awareness for this issue. Now here in DC, we are also highlighting some particular issues that are hitting families every day. We are out here in front of HUD. I'm going to try to swing over this way so you can get the backdrop. We are in front of the Housing and Urban Development. Secretary Carson, if you can hear us, we're out here. We're here in front of HUD because in DC, we want to highlight the fact that since July, nearly 2,000 families have been filed for eviction. So if you look over here, this is kind of a makeshift presentation. We had a lovely installation. I'm going to pull this mask down for a moment. Let me socially distance. We had a nice, lovely installation here that we had put out. But of course, when you are on federal grounds, they don't want you necessarily to put everything on their property specifically, but they did give us some space over here out in front. And we have these eviction notices. These represent the families who have these placed on their homes as we speak. We have quite a few of them on display down here, but we want this to represent the people who are coming home today even, and finding this sticker, this eviction notice on their door, and telling them they have a limited amount of time to remove their belongings before their belongings are set on the street. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever experienced that in your lifetime, but I can't think of anything more devastating to know that you are about to lose your home, you're about to lose shelter, and if you have children, that perhaps all of you all and your belongings will be on the street. I live here in DC, and in DC, unfortunately, they still have a practice where they will physically take your belongings and sit them on the curb. And so it is a very devastating thing to come through the city at times and drive along the neighborhood and see a couch and a television and mattresses stacked on the side of the road. If these families had a guaranteed income coming in every month, who's to say that wouldn't have been able to prevent them from having their things taken out of their homes? Guaranteed basic income is a guaranteed basic humanity. That's what we're here to highlight. That's what we're here to talk about today very briefly. And then we're going to march. There's a lot going on in the world even tonight and I'm thinking about last night, and I did just want to take a moment and acknowledge the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That is a monumental shift in our nation and in our country. But I wanted to dedicate today's event and today's march to her because she was someone who was known for introducing ideas that were thought to be radical at the time, that were thought to be impossible to get past. Universal basic income has come a long way. It used to be that type of a policy that was pie in the sky and not possible. It still takes a lot of convincing even for some to get their mind around the notion that basic income is possible. But it's come a very long way. And we can thank folks like Andrew Yang, who is a former presidential candidate I had the pleasure and the honor of working with on his campaign. But it wasn't just Andrew's idea. Thomas Paine, Milton Friedman, and of course the great Dr. Martin Luther King all champion a guaranteed income, and so we are just carrying the torch forward today, and that's what we're here and we're gathered to do in DC. I'm a proponent of it. It's really just become a cause for me. As a minister, I get up every week and I preach to people about taking care of the least of these, taking care of the oppressed and the widow and the childless and just those that are common with us in humanity. That's what I talk about every week. And so when I think about universal basic income, that's who we say we are as a nation. That's what we say that we're supposed to be doing with one another, being one another's keeper, my brother and my sister's keeper. That's what basic income would represent, the opportunity for us to be able to do that. So before we get ready to march and to share some information, we're going to leave here from in front of HUD, and we're going to march down toward the mall and toward Pennsylvania Avenue just to give visibility and rise to universal basic income. I want to introduce Steve Schafferman. Steve has been a UBI proponent for, I'll let him tell you how many years, because I don't want to get it wrong. He's written an incredible book about universal basic income, and I just wanted Steve to come today because he can give some really pertinent data and insight around why universal basic income is necessary in these moments. So please help me welcome author Steve Schafferman.
Thank you all. So here we are in Washington, D.C., and the nation's capital. And we're standing in front of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, but less than a quarter of a mile from here is the Martin Luther King Memorial. And as Wendy mentioned, Dr. King strongly endorsed the idea of a guaranteed income in his last year, gave speeches about it. You can find videos on YouTube. Also not far from here is the Jefferson Memorial. And we all know the great words, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are unalienable rights. Well, a little bit further is Abraham Lincoln. And one of the things that Lincoln did that is not so well known is he pioneered the idea of the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act of 1862 gave land to several thousand people over the decades that it was in effect, on the same principle that people need some land in order to secure their livelihood. Right across the street is the Constitution Center. And we all know the great phrase in the Constitution that government has a duty to promote the general welfare. So when we talk about universal basic income, and some people use the terms in the 60s, common terms were negative income tax or guaranteed income or guaranteed annual income. When we talk about these ideas, we are standing on the shoulders of Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine and Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King. Wendy mentioned Milton Friedman, the Nobel laureate economist who is still revered as a champion among conservatives. Well, in fact, there are more than a dozen Nobel laureate economists who have written about this idea in one form or another, and many other economists as well, going back to the 60s and today. So this is an idea that really ought to be mainstream and modern. And in fact, it was not so radical in the 60s. Those of you who've read some of the history, and this is my most recent book, which has a comprehensive history. In 1970, the House of Representatives, by a vote of 2-1, passed a bill saying that every family should have a guaranteed income. It's called the Family Assistance Plan, again, passed by 2-1, and that was truly bipartisan. It actually had majorities of Republicans and majorities of Democrats. Unfortunately, the politics of the time, it was blocked in the Senate. So, Andrew Yang, as most of you know, really talked about this primarily in terms of disappearing jobs and that Amazon is putting so many small businesses out of work, and now we have the pandemic and the economic crisis, and small businesses and communities are being devastated. We know that's going to go on for another 3 to 6 months, possibly a year. People talk about the economic recovery as if that's a real thing, but the serious economists say that the current recovery is what they describe as K-shaped. People who earn more than $100,000 a year are doing very well. Their economic situation is on the upswing. The majority are living lives that are even more precarious today than 6 months ago or a year ago. The majority of Americans are struggling. So if we respect these traditional American values, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and if we respect that those are unalienable rights, then we ought to pause and think about it and acknowledge that a basic income ought to be an unalienable right. And in fact, Thomas Paine used that phrase when he called for a version of a guaranteed income. He said, "It is a right and not a charity that I am calling for." So here we are in Washington, and everything we do in Washington, talking to members of Congress, talking to people on the street, being here for this basic income march, everything we do can resonate and have a disproportionate impact. I was telling Wendy earlier about one of the leading basic income proponents in the world, who is a senator from Brazil. And he would come to the United States where nobody knew him, and everywhere he would go, and I would be with him in the food court at Union Station, or in Central Park in New York City, or just out for a walk here or there, or Boston or Philadelphia. Everyone he'd meet, he would say, "What do you think of the idea of a guaranteed basic income?" And I want to suggest that he can be a role model for us. And we should all be talking to our friends, using social media in every way we can to emphasize that this is imperative. This is a necessity. If we're going to have a true democracy where everyone has equal opportunities to participate, basic income truly is imperative. Oh, one other point that I specifically like to emphasize is that this is not simply a liberal idea.
Yes.
This is an idea that, especially if you talk about Milton Friedman, if you talk about the Constitution, if you talk about the Declaration of Independence, if you talk about some of the other aspects of the history, this is a truly American idea. There are a growing number of people who identify as conservatives and libertarians who are endorsing basic income because they know that the neoliberal, corporate-dominated, bailout Wall Street culture cannot endure. We are truly at a tipping point where we can shift toward a more utopian, more democratic, more functional, more just, more sustainable world, or we can collapse further into oblivion and despair. So I thank you all for being here, and give it back to Wendy.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. And I see is this our Virginia contingent that has showed up? Thank you. Thank you for showing up. We were gathering here and sharing a few words. We had an actual lovely art installation that was set up until the feds came in and suggested that we had to take it off of federal property. And so we kind of put the installation itself over here to the side. But right now we're just kind of getting ourselves motivated and talking about universal basic income, and then we're going to march. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off from here, and we are going to march down 7th Street, actually beyond Independence. We're going to go on down to Pennsylvania. And so that way it's going to give us a little bit more room to spread our message, to interact with more people. We'll stop when we get to the mall down here and maybe take a picture there near the Capitol and that. But, today is about awareness. And, I've always been someone, I don't care if there's 10 people or there's 10,000, because it only takes one person to make a difference. It only takes one pebble in an ocean to cause a ripple. And so for me, I've always been quality over quantity. And so I just know that the people who are here, you are dedicated to doing whatever is necessary to make universal basic income a reality in our lifetime. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it out, because we are a country of innovators. We are a country of creative thinkers. And if we can put somebody on the moon, by God, we can put money in everybody's pocket. That's the way I look at it. And so with that being said, what we can do on our end is just continue to spread the word. As I was saying earlier before you all came, initially, and I'm someone I had mentioned that worked with Andrew Yang's campaign, I don't know how many of you all saw the debates, and the first time that Andrew mentioned universal basic income, he was actually going to give away $1,000 a month to families who signed up for his website. I can't tell you how many people laughed on the stage when that idea came up. We were in Detroit at the debates. I mean, physically laughed at like, who is this guy and what is he talking about? And I talked about, talk to people on the trail, and they say, he's crazy. You can't do that. You can't just give people money. Why not? Nobody can really tell you why not. But they all can tell you why it wasn't possible. Well, we're from a land of possibility, and we believe that if we put our minds and our will to it, it can actually be done. And so that's what these marches are about. We're pleased here at DC to be joining over 45 cities all over the world today who are marching and bringing this to the attention of those who are listening. We're down here near Congress, and I know there's a lot going on, but Congress, we need you to hear us. A $1,200 stimulus payment that we got back in April is not enough. One check is not enough. We need ongoing, recurring payments of cash directly in people's hands without any conditions. That's the only thing that's going to turn us around in this particular moment and in this season. And so I appreciate each and every one that is here. I thank you for your commitment to this issue. I think that our collective will together and our collective efforts are definitely going to make a difference. Every little bit counts, every voice counts, and I just thank you all for coming out here and being willing to lend your voice and your efforts and your energy to the fight and to the cause for universal basic income. It's kind of personal for me, and even this particular display, and I'll just share this and then we'll get ready to march. But so I was a single mother, before going into ministry, before doing the things that I'm doing in my life now. I was a single mother, and my daughter and I, we saw some struggles. We truly did. My daughter's 28 now. She's doing well. She actually just had my very first grandson. I'm very excited about that. And so I'm grateful for where we are, but I will never forget the day that we came home and one of these was on our door. When they first talked about doing the eviction installation here as the DC sort of project, honestly, personally, it triggered me a little bit, because it took me back to that moment when we discovered that we too were going to be losing our home after a series of financial difficulties that I ran into after graduating college and losing my mother. And so it got to a place where she was maybe 3 years old at that time, we had to spend some time living in a hotel. And I cannot explain to anybody the level of shame that you feel, the level of guilt as a parent, feeling like you've somehow let your child down, that you failed them, that you've let your family down. All of my family is in Ohio. I moved here to DC to go to Howard University and wound up staying. So I didn't really have a lot of relatives in the area. So when we found ourselves in that hard place, it was also emotionally devastating. And thank God we were able to, get things turned around, that there was assistance available, that, I had some friendly resources and folks who helped us out. But man, I tell you, if I had a guaranteed income back in those days, we probably would not have found ourselves. I'm almost certain that we would not have found ourselves in that situation. And so for me, this is also a personal sort of crusade, if you will, because I don't want anybody to ever have to look into the face of their baby and say, I don't know where we're going to sleep tonight. It's not a good feeling. It's not an empowering feeling, and that's why I feel like universal basic income is so important, because it's not just about money. And I think we all have heard that. Universal basic income is not just about the money, it's about what the money will do for people. It's about lifting up people's self-esteem. It's about dignity. It's about giving people hope again. You know, when I first heard about it, I also thought about my grandparents in Ohio who worked in shoe factories, who worked in these steel mills that closed in the mid-70s, early 80s, and they were making a pretty decent income back in those days. But when those factories closed and went overseas or automation came in, they fell into despair. They didn't have the money to move away anywhere. They didn't have jobs that came in. You can't work on a steel mill assembly line making $17, $18 an hour, have that leave, and then think that, you know, a job at Walmart or at the local Sonic Deli is going to replace what you need. And so if you are not in a position to move away or to do better for yourself, unfortunately for some of my family and others, they fell into despair, alcohol, addictions. Even the town where I'm from now, Portsmouth, Ohio, is a southern Ohio town on the border of West Virginia and Kentucky. It's in the heart of Appalachia. Those towns still haven't recovered. Opioid crisis has come in there and wiped it out. Sometimes when I go home, you know, to visit my family, it's heartbreaking because it's almost like time stopped. I don't know if you all are familiar with some of these areas that you drive through in our country. It looks like the time has completely stopped and things are just moving in slow motion. We can't forget about those folks. Those people are us. Every one of us here are one paycheck or disaster away from being right in that position. And so I don't ever want any of us to get comfortable feeling like, oh, well, that's them. It could never happen to us. Oh, it absolutely could. And especially looking at what's going on now with the pandemic. There's a lot of people who lost their jobs during this pandemic that aren't coming. Those jobs aren't coming back. They weren't planning for that. They weren't planning to have to go down and file for unemployment. And yet here we are. So in one of those kind of never say never scenarios, that's what I just want you all to keep in mind. So as we march today, think about that. Think about, you know, the privilege that we have as persons right now to even be out here marching today, where there are some folks who can't march today because they came home and they saw this last night. So let's march for them today. Let's march for those who can't march for themselves. Let's march for those who can't speak for themselves today, who didn't have it in them. Let's get them the dignity. Let's get them the respect. Let's get them the money that they deserve. We are here because universal basic income will be a reality in our lifetimes. Thank you. Okay, so that being said, thank you very much. What we're going to do is, I see a lot of people have some signs. I've got some signage. Is there anyone who would be willing to carry the banner? Because there's like a couple of banners that we can carry, and we're just going to start out on this sidewalk, and we're just going to begin to march, and we're going to march down. I'm probably going to carry the speaker with me so people can hear, and we'll just march down. I've got some handouts. People can hand those things out to people as we encounter them. Maybe we'll stop right there at Independence, kind of do some sign waving. We'll cross the street and we'll walk down to the mall, take a picture, and then we'll end down at 7th and Pennsylvania. Is that okay? Everybody got that? Pretty straightforward shot, okay? Yep. Let us take a quick picture here if you don't mind. Can everybody just kind of jump up in the pod there so we can kind of take a quick shot of as we're getting ready to take off? That would be great. Thank you to all the folks who are covering this today. We appreciate it. But I know they're trying to put a lot of things wrong. Is that a good shot? Can you get us all in there? Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so here's what I got.
Oh yeah.
Can anyone carry this Bam.
Okay, you want to do it then? Okay. Oh, right.
Is this the fourth one?
The one with the 4 was...
What's the 4 for? Steve, you want to explain that one?
I can hold one half of it.
Can somebody hold one end and somebody hold the other? Anybody?
Yeah, it's upside down. There you go.
So that is not a 4. That's a greater than or equal to. So, all right. So we got that, and I've got these 2 other signs here. If anybody wants to take those, got these,
Signs.
and then.
No, we should.
Oh, did it come on?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Camera? You want me to take one right now?
Gosh, I can listen to Mrs. Hamilton all day. Very inspiring, very motivational.
You got it? Yeah, I'll call it.
One check is enough. It's not enough. And basic income marks.
We are the fucking economy. We are the fucking economy. Okay.
He just called me, so yeah, time again. Digging the shirt.
Heck yeah.
Like it.
It's the best one.
All right. Does anybody need any other paraphernalia? Looks like everybody's got like a flag or something they're going to carry. Let me see what I can carry. And also carry the microphone.
I'll carry the microphone.
Oh, okay.
That's the speaker.
Okay. I think I want to go with the we are the economy.
We are the fucking economy.
Now, if anybody wants some of this stuff to take home with them, they can also, take these home. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna stick it back in the car, and then we'll get ready to go.
You reach him?
He said I'll be here in 2 minutes.
All right. Like 2 fricks a minute?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Matt, here in New Orleans, going to the march here shortly downtown. Awesome, Arkansas for Yang.
I missed the first one.
All right. Whoever's got the banner, can you come up front, please? Thank you so much. Appreciate
Is
you
this
guys.
Canada? No, this is USA.
All right, and we'll line up dutifully.
Are you the Metro
Everybody?
guy?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
We all
you.
got on
What's your
Yang
name?
stuff, so there's no
Jim
public
McBride.
Yangs restarting
Nice
this
to meet you.
campaign.
I organize Virginia,
Like, wait,
but I'm a
did
big,
you
big
speak?
fan of your YouTube stuff. But trying to, I want to get back on YouTube.
You got a channel?
I mean, sort of, but I a few years ago I did some commentary videos, but then I stopped doing it because I do so much organizing of
All
events
right.
Yeah.
that, like, I'll put my organization.
Thank you
I'll
for that. Yes, I appreciate
put a
it.
video of some speaker, but it's not like
What's that say?
I'm not-
Let there
I'm
be
not
an
up to-
income floor
like
for
a
everyone
regular
to live
YouTuber,
on. I
you know?
love it.
Yeah. It takes a
love
lot
it.
of work. You know?
yeah.
So-
But I think it's so important, especially this year. Like,
You can just
well,
probably-
now
yeah, you
I'm
can just leave those there.
doing
I
these
think
Zoom
it's all
meetings
about
and I'm recording them. So I want to use YouTube to distribute some of the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So you finally divorced from Zach?
All right, are we ready?
I guess, sort of.
Marchers unite.
The more he divorced from me, he left me behind.
Assemble and let
How'd
us
you know?
go.
We're best, like we're
Let us
best friends.
walk,
Like,
let us march,
live next to each,
let us
like
lend
across the
our
street from each
voices
other growing up.
To the basic
But-
income march for 2020, because we believe that everyone deserves a guaranteed income. We believe that people have worth and dignity and value, and they should not be penalized for living. This is Basic Income March 2020, Washington, D.C. We're bringing attention to the need for guaranteed cash payments, putting money directly in the hands of people, not bailing out banks and bailing out corporations without first bailing out our people. The idea is gaining more and more attention. We're just lending our voices to that. Because we believe that one check is not enough. The $1,200 stimulus payment in April was gone in April. We are now in September on our way to October, and things are getting worse. It's time for us to pay the people. Pay the people.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Oh, it's to my phone.
Keep speaking.
Huh? Testing, testing.
Yeah, it's your phone that disconnected. Where's your phone?
I don't know. Where did I leave my phone? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Hey, yes. Could you go back and see if you see my phone? Left it in my car, my purse. Yeah. It should. Yeah, it's on. Thank you. All right. So let us keep marching. Crisis avoided.
We hope.
I hope, yes. So we're going to keep marching. We're going to keep talking. We are going to keep fighting for UBI. We're going to keep fighting for a universal basic income for every single American.
We must be the new government policy.
It must be the new government policy. Absolutely. No questions asked. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people, who seem to have forgotten about the people.
Self-interest is inevitable. We need a policy that protects all the people.
All the people. Basic income is a necessity right now. We need to be able to help our fellow citizens to survive. We actually need to help them to thrive. We are in support of every citizen being given guaranteed cash payments so that they can take care of themselves. We have to trust families to take care of themselves.
We still believe in checks and balances. We are the balance.
Yes.
We want the checks.
I love it. Would you like the mic?
We are the checks. We need to balance the for-profit corporations that have taken over corporate America.
Yes.
Hey, there's the most useless
That's okay.
building
You
in
got the
America,
mic. It's fine. I've been talking all day. It's fine.
the Capitol.
Yeah. Nice shot right here of the Capitol. Yeah, we need to work down there. Marching for a guaranteed basic income for every American. Because that's who we are as a nation. That's who we say we are. We have to take care of our people.
Government for the people and by the people.
And we
You
are
guys.
the people.
Check this out.
We are the economy. And one check is not enough.
I'm not even holding it.
Rejuvenation.
I'm not even holding my sign. Look, it stays on me.
Hello?
a guaranteed universal basic income. $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever it takes. We've got it. We're the richest country in the world. We have the resources available to take care of our people, not just corporations.
Help the people.
Pay the people. It's going to be very difficult to survive unless we pay the people and bail the country out. All right. So we're going to go down here and we're going to interact with some people so that they too know that they are deserving of a universal basic income.
Tertia, I think we're heading to the White House.
If it's going to happen anywhere, it has to start right here in Washington, D.C., the seat of our government. The power to do universal basic income is right here. And it can be done right now.
Just the start. We are still breathing. We are stronger than ever.
That's right. We've been through a lot, and we're still here. So we are calling on our leadership to hear our collective voices. We are one of many on this day who are highlighting the desperate need for a guaranteed basic income in the United States of America. Yeah. Anybody have a catchy chant that they'd like to do as we move forward? What do we want, UBI? When do we want it now?
Yeah!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
Right. We want a universal basic income right now. Not today, not tomorrow, right now, in this moment, in this hour. We need to pay the people. Stop bailing out corporations. And we're not bailing out our citizens. We deserve to have the help and assistance that we need. Hear our voices. We're calling out. What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
And when do we want it?
Now!
Universal basic income. It will turn this country around. It will get us back on track. It will rebuild our economy. But most importantly, it will rebuild our families. It will help people that are struggling in
Oh, this is real nice.
UBI! Now! UBI! Now! UBI! Now! UBI! Now!
It is the right thing to do.
Plus, right now, Switch also gets $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to Fair with US Cellular. Promotional price for more.
I don't think
You don't think you've ever what else?
What?
Oh, dude. I think I've been here when I was like 8.
Hey guys, we're gonna cross. We're gonna take a picture with her.
Okay.
remember to take your own pictures and tweet them out. You know, there's
Yeah.
a hashtag Basic Income March 2020, I believe.
Correct. All right. This way we have the Capitol behind us. So back here, the picture's going to take it front. Okay. All right, let's do it. Basic income DC. What do we want? When do we want it?
Can you get it one more picture?
Oh, what do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? And when do we want it?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Happiness.
Everyone needs a basic income.
Yes, guaranteed income, money for the people, not just corporations. Yes.
Come on.
Thank you. All right, let's
What do we want? UBI. When do we want it?
Oh,
Yesterday.
there it is. So we're just going to keep walking down to Pennsylvania Avenue, okay? We'll stay on this side. Pennsylvania Avenue is like the 2 lights away. Maybe stand there for a few minutes and just kind of do some sign waving on Pennsylvania Avenue as cars pass by, and then we'll call it a day. Okay? All right, basic income. What do we want?
UBI.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI.
When do we want it?
Now.
Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and people to have money in their hands, guaranteed income, will help turn this economy around. A guaranteed minimum income will help people to get back on their feet. We can afford it. It's time to bail out the people and stop bailing out corporations. We are the economy. We are the ones who need the assistance and the help. And we will keep advancing this message until Congress hears what we're saying and makes a change. A $1,200 stimulus payment one time is not enough. It's not enough to make a difference. We've got it. We can afford it. We need to pay the people. What do we want? And
UBI.
when do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI.
And when do we want it?
Now.
It's about dignity. It's about self-respect. It's about being able to take care of yourself and take care of your family and not have to depend on anyone else to do that for you. Because we trust people to know what's best for them. We trust people to know what's best for their family than to make those decisions on their own. And in order to show them that we trust them, we need to pay them. That's what universal basic income will afford us the opportunity to do. What do we want?
UBI.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI.
And when do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI.
And when do we want it?
Now.
Everyone deserves to be able to take care of themselves, to sustain themselves. Worry that make them economically. People have the right to have peace of mind, financial peace, and we can make a way for that to happen through universal basic income. UBI will help. So, what do we want?
UBI.
And when do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
UBI. Now.
We want good intentions.
All right, Mark. A little bit of stop. Now, people, Absolutely. He said everybody should be able. I don't know. Here.
Breathe in.
Yeah, I think I made it
What?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
Awesome. Yes. Oh, and you know what, guys? Come on back this way. Actually, we'll stay over here. Marchers, come on back. Sorry about that.
Join us.
Check
Check balance.
When you come back. Yeah, I've got some flyers we can pass out. I was saying Pennsylvania, I meant Constitution. You know, you would think after living here 20 years, I would know the difference. Sorry about that, marchers. I meant to say Constitution. I said Pennsylvania. That was my fault. So we're just going to stop here. But I thank all of you all again for coming out today, because it just represents and reflects what we're trying to do. We're trying to lend our voices. We're trying to get this issue even more mainstream than it already has become. We're so grateful for that. We're grateful for the support of people in Congress who are working toward this. I know our current VP nominee, Kamala Harris, has a bill on the floor with Senator Ed Markey, and is it Tim Ryan or Bernie Sanders? Bernie
Her
Sanders.
bill is with Bernie.
Okay, they want $2,000 a month. So it's moving. The possibility it's much closer than it's ever been. Let's just put it that way. And the more that we gather and the more that we share information with people about universal basic income, the better chance we have of actually getting it passed. And so we'll keep marching, we'll keep talking, we'll keep voting for those folks, we'll keep putting people in office. Maybe there's some of you out here that need to run for office. Anyone out here considered running for office and running on a basis of UBI? That's what we need. If you haven't thought about it, maybe you should consider that, because the more voices we have over there on Capitol Hill pushing for it, the greater the opportunity and the possibility of it being made to happen. So that being said, I thank everybody for coming out today. We're just going to hang out here a few more minutes. Like I said, I've got some flyers here if you'd like to want to give everybody some of these, so maybe you can just pass it out to one or two people as you make your way back to your cars. But I thank you for helping to support the effort that we put together here in DC to lend our voices to the rest of the groups around the country. I hope that you'll tweet some pictures out so they can see that we did show up and that we were here and we did our part, to add and lend to the greater good. So I thank you guys so much for coming today. Really greatly appreciate it.
Woo! Yeah.
If anybody's hungry and wants to eventually clean our food trucks, I think some of us are in the mood for ice cream or hot dogs.
Sure.
There you go.
Basic Income March 2020. Thank you for being part of the second annual Basic Income March. So this year, more than 40 cities across the globe are participating.
I'll try to do something. Got to pull together, so hey, it's better than not having anything.
Figure it out. It's not going anywhere.
So guys, thank you so much. We're just kind of wrapping up. I meant to say Constitution. I said Pennsylvania, but it's all right.
I've got them from both sides.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, we're pretty much wrapped up here. I've got some handouts. Okay. All right.
Sure, let's not do this.
Yeah, I agree with Lukey Monster. Like, bulk buyer, if you don't want your $1,200 check,
You guys want to-
I'm sure somebody would find it useful.
Everybody just kind of gather behind the sign real quick. Yeah, maybe turn it up. Turn that way. What a great day this was. What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
UBI!
When do we want it?
Now!
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Woo!
Thank you.
I think the Constitution is inside the archive.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there was any relevance to that building.
That's the archives.
Yeah.
That's where the Declaration and the Constitution are. The Bill of Rights.
I didn't know that.
That's right. Well, the pursuit of happiness. That's exactly.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are unalienable rights, and in a market society, everyone needs cash in order to secure our unalienable rights. Therefore, basic income must be an unalienable right. Everyone must have a basic income.
Freedom of speech, or money is speech, and if you
That's true.
have speech,
That's what the Supreme
you
Court.
gotta give them money.
That's right.
That's the world we live in.
Well, democracy requires that people have the means to participate.
Yep.
A true democracy is only possible when everyone has means and incentives to participate as active citizens. And therefore, everyone must have at least some basic income in order to have a functioning democracy. Because today we don't have a real democracy. We have a government mostly by the corporations, for Wall Street and the very rich. But we can take it back. We can make our government what the founders envisioned. A government of, by, and for the people, as Lincoln called it. A government that truly secures our basic rights. A government that works for us as individuals. All of us. So let's make it happen. And not 10 years or 20 years, but in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. We don't have time to wait.
No, we don't.
We don't have any more time.
People
Time
are
is now.
suffering and dying and getting evicted from their homes.
Right.
And basic income ought to be a necessity. We ought to have something this year. Congress must act to provide additional cash payments as soon as possible and ongoing.
Regardless of who wins the election, this is not a partisan issue. This is a human issue.
Yes.
This is about humanity. This is about taking care of our people. That's not right or left. That's human. That's what we need.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So, where should I put pictures? Just on Twitter, I tag them, hashtag
Yeah,
them?
they want hashtag everything Basic March Income 20 Basic Income March 2020. But yeah, they want it.
Do hashtag DC.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think there's a DC Twitter.
Alright. Well, yeah, I'll look them up if anybody's interested in them.
Yeah, please. They kind of want to add it to the national stuff too. So
Actually, you know what?
anybody that's got stuff, please. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Income Movement, all of it.
Alright.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Matt.
much.
You can't wait. Alright. Okay.
That was Basic Income March 2020 in Washington, D.C. And now we must decide as a stream what we shall do the rest of the day. Sorry, I'm talking to my stream. Someone thought I was talking to them.
When he came to...
Yo, what should we do now, stream?
When Yang came to George Mason.
I guess we're going this way.
I was there for that meeting.
Is that the stream?
David?
What's that, stream?
Oh, okay. Are you...
What's good, stream?
I'm in the Northern Virginia.
Arkin the Hillby says, get a job and earn a paycheck, you commie losers. You know, it's interesting. In a communist society, everybody actually is like forced to work by mandate. But in a capitalist society, you actually have the choice whether or not to work, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know, is UBI communism? I don't think so. What else do we have? All right, we got to get all our arguments for why UBI sucks out of the way. This is the way I see it, Lukey. Like, the fact that there's people that are in this stream, like, willing to spend, like, an hour or two of their day, like, clamoring that UBI is socialism, UBI is communism, what it tells you is that, like, the idea actually has some serious traction that, I mean, I don't really understand it, but for whatever reason, there's some people who are so ardently against the idea of giving every American a cash floor to live on. No problem, Daedalus. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, Hector has been working on a documentary about MPs for a while.
Yeah, right. He was working.
Steve J, I think the issue with like suggesting that it's always been the way it is just to go get a job and earnings. Like you're making a presupposition that if people get $1,000 a month, that one, they could actually live off that, and two, that they would just magically stop working. Would you stop working if you got $1,000 a month? I don't think you'd stop working if you got $1,000 a month. I wouldn't stop working if I got an extra $1,000 a month. I don't think anybody here would stop working if they got an extra $1,000 a month. And the people who can't work, hopefully, if they had an extra $1,000 a month, they'd be more likely to be able to have the resources to move somewhere or find a location or educate themselves so that they too get a job. Yeah, BMX says, I still work, my anxiety would be lessened at least. Exactly. UBI would just make everybody a little happier. Go speak to people? I'm speaking to you guys. Can't read the chat. And this is like the one thing that I can't understand the most is like the people who are on the right. The people who are on the right and say like universal basic income is just this socialist communist idea makes absolutely no sense to me. Because like, are you blind to the fact that Republicans and Democrats bailed out corporations and Wall Street during the pandemic to like $4, $5, $6 trillion? Do you not realize that that is socialism for the rich? That is communism, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, for the rich? It is. So why are the people stuck on this rugged capitalist system? And I'm a fan of capitalism. I literally like capitalism. I don't like socialism. But you can't the idea that giving every American $1,000 a month is some huge gonna destroy capitalism is false. It's a false narrative. I think if you gave everybody $1,000 a month, it would actually enhance capitalism, because suddenly people would be able to do the things that they actually want to do, like maybe start a business, or they'd spend money that previously they weren't able to spend on things. The money would go back into the economy. Dean Fife says, unsubbed. That's fine. There's plenty of others that are subscribed. See ya. UBI and taxes are people's money. Go find and kick McConnell's ass. All forms of welfare keep you from working. Someone call my name. All forms of keep you from working. I think most people would work. I can't read the comment. Most people, Matthew Roller's saying, I think most people that work right now don't work because of welfare programs. mean, yeah, I'm not really buying it. I think we have like a. It depends because you're probably referring because if you're talking strictly about the unemployment rate, but if you're talking about the labor participation rate in the workforce, that's another thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we actually have more viewers ever since I started like ranting in front of the camera, which is interesting.
So you heard about this event? Oh, that's cool. Hello? Hi, Mitchell. Good.
If Matt yelled at Lindsey Graham, he could get on Fox News and CNN. Tom Griffin says, "Stop serving Satan. I'm Jewish. I can't serve Satan. I don't believe in him." Bring back the Yang bus tour. That would be nice. 1-to-1 too. Mark wants you to find Graham. Lindsay! Lindsay! I don't see him.
And I'm going to. I think I'm going to use my dad.
Heather says, leaving the stream, I'm sick of your generation crying about everything. Heather, if anybody's crying right now, it is you. Chad Tucker says, anti-fascists are insane. Do you mean like Antifa? If we want to talk about Antifa, that's a separate conversation. Because personally on Antifa, the way I feel is, I feel that Antifa uses fascist tactics to push for their vision of anti-fascism. So I think it's kind of hypocritical. But that's a separate conversation. I don't know, like, another interesting thing about like people who support UBI and people who support Andrew Yang, and especially, like, you can't fit like this support group into some like lefty or liberal box because all the ideologies are just way too diverse. Like, you're not gonna find like 100% of Yang Gang or UBI supporters who are gonna be like the stereotypical label of like a snowflake lefty dem. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Matthew. Yeah.
All right.
That's actually, yeah, that's a great point about how the current welfare system disincentivizes people to work because they lose their benefits if their income goes over a certain amount. With UBI, their benefits would stay no matter what, even if they get a higher income.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I got confused.
Damn, this is fun. What other questions do we
I
have?
just want to say goodbye.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
On a video call or something?
Nah, I'm streaming. You can.
Oh, sorry.
So
sorry.
you can say hi. This is sorry,
Hey.
what's your name again?
Jim McBride from Virginia.
Jim McBride, and you are one of the leaders in the Virginia Yang Gang.
Yeah, I helped start the Obama campaign in Virginia in 2007 and 2008, and been looking for another movement that could inspire people that came close since then. And I've seen different things. I've seen Bernie got a lot of enthusiasm, but I really think Yang understood how to bring people together in a way that Obama did in 2007 and 8. And I feel like Yang's message has been so good and it's so smart that so I got on board, even though I thought it was a long shot, but I think, Obama.
It was a long shot.
Huh?
It was a long shot, but
Yeah,
that's what made it
was a
special,
long shot,
'cause
but
we
I knew
believed.
the movement, the Yang's movement, was so valuable, and so now I'm working with the Yang Gang to, a lot of our Humanity Forward candidates, or UBI supporting candidates, are Democrats, so I'm trying to bridge the worlds of the Democratic candidates and party with the Yang Gang and try to get us to cooperate and get some new candidates in office, and maybe we can make some progress on basic income in 2021.
That would be nice. Here's a question for you. What do you think, like, of like kind of the stereotypical arguments like against UBI, like people who say, oh, it's socialism, or oh, we can't afford it, or oh, people would stop working?
Yeah, I think one of the big moments I had was watching Yang on the Joe Rogan podcast, and so I think the way he talks about it, it seems like very common sense, very logical, very he describes it as human-centered capitalism. So I think I think that kind of message, the way he delivers it, being somebody in tech, being somebody who understands economics and business and entrepreneurship, I think that appeals to somebody like me who's not, I don't consider myself a socialist or anything, but I like new ideas. And so I think he positions it in a way that is very inclusive and very forward-minded, and doesn't seem like a reaction to the Republicans, you know, and like they're libertarian, and so I'm going to be, you know, more pro-government, or like it brings together everybody with different ideologies. So I think we're on the right track, but I think we do need to figure out how to basically emulate what Yang is doing. Today at 3:00, which is probably now, he's going to be on a Zoom meeting for the Biden campaign with Reggie Love, who was Obama's aide when he was in the White House. And, you know, Yang is the star of this meeting about Joe's Soul Squad, which is basically a program to encourage people to organize online for the Biden campaign. So, and Yang is doing a lot of stuff where he's raising his profile on the Democratic side and with CNN and the media. So I think his platform is growing, and I think we can leverage that.
Yeah.
And we need to kind of follow his lead, try to build bridges and kind of get exposure more places.
Yeah, absolutely. I like doing this kind of stuff, just going out and screaming top of my lungs.
Well, sometimes you need to talk to voters, and you can't scream at voters. So that's the one thing that, you know, the Yang Gang just needs to keep in mind, is that, you know, the real world is not on Twitter. You know, Twitter doesn't decide the election. Yeah, so
that was one thing I think the Yang Gang, we got a little confident seeing all our hashtag trends back in January.
Right. No, I mean, hey, that's great. It's great to be visible and everything. But, you know, you gotta keep in mind that there's a lot of people Joe's age that vote.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily, when they see the Asian guy who likes math, they don't necessarily jump on board on the first day.
Yeah.
But as they get used to him, I mean, familiarity is a key. You know, like, you need to build bridges, build relationships with people, and in the end, the number one thing a candidate needs to do is build trust. And Biden had that advantage, that not only was he somebody who's been around a while, but he was Obama's VP, which made him an asset to African American voters. They felt comfortable with him, and they felt like he was a continuation of Obama. So we just got to think about strategy and where things stand and how we can become a better influence or a bigger influence.
Yeah.
More places, and I think Yang is, you know, building alliances and doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, and it'd be great to see more of you in the future.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't have many local events.
That's the thing. I remember when the campaign ended, I went to, like, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it a vacation or visiting friends, but I went to Los Angeles for like a week or two, and I got like a message on Twitter from someone in the Baltimore Yang Gang saying like, hey, I know you live in Maryland. Do you want to come like to our weekly hang or whatever? And I couldn't because I was in Los Angeles, and I was like, oh, let me know when the next one is. And then literally it was that like next week where
COVID,
everything got shut down.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been. This is like the first. This is the first like Yang Gang meetup thing I've been to.
Yeah.
And I like doing them, so it'd be nice to do more stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, unfortunately now the winter's next, right?
Yeah.
So this is a short, tight window.
I campaigned in Iowa. I don't need winter. Doesn't scare me.
Oh, okay.
I was kidding. It's cold.
Well, I'm sure, you know, it's Washington. There'll be something.
Yeah. So, all right.
Cool. Well, hopefully, we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm Jim McBride 13.
Yeah.
I tweeted about Virginia. We walked from Roslyn Metro over the Memorial Bridge. Across the National Mall, over to HUD. So I got a picture on there of our group.
Nice. Yeah. I'll follow
I
you.
got a bunch of people to walk like 3 miles or 4 miles. Took over an hour and a half. Well, we stopped to take pictures. Yeah. And I created Yang Gang for Joe. So if there's any Yang Gang folks that are solidly ready to get rid of Donald Trump, we need your help. So and we're doing Zoom meetings, and I'm just promoting other things where we're promoting Democratic candidates nationwide. So make sure to vote wherever you live. Help humanity forward candidates, but make sure to maybe help a candidate in your neighborhood too.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
What's up, guys? Tom Griffin says, I'm a landlord. I haven't received rent since March. And yeah, that's a legitimate problem, Tom Griffin. And it's why, like, if any, like, it's a crazy thing because there's so many different factors that go into this. Like, my inclination would be to think that if the government is going to have an eviction moratorium, which I think is good because I don't think that you should kick people out of their homes when they lose their jobs because of a lockdown in the middle of a pandemic. But like I know people hate on landlords, but many landlords are just people too, like you and me. And if the government's going to say that they can't get their payments, I do think that perhaps that the government should be subsidizing the landlords, because basically right now landlords are subsidizing the cost of housing in the United States. So I feel for you. I don't think it's fair. I don't know. I feel like though if you had the government suddenly paying all rent, it would just incentivize people to not pay the rent at all. So it's like, that's why I was referencing how it's complicated. But man, should we even end this stream? Like, we have so many people watching. We're having it's like a beautiful day. Like, what do you guys want to do? We go where you say. All 163 of you. We're taking your questions live here on the Zach and Matt Show. UBI is a path forward to create prosperity and meant to create opportunities. SCOTUS? Just saw someone on CNN oh, I don't want to say that word. I'll get seen by Secret Service. It's like a algorithm thing. Chad Tucker says, I want to work for a living. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think people like, I don't necessarily know if like it's fun to sit around and play video games and eat chips all day, like on a $1,000 a month UBI. I don't personally think it would be. Because I think, like, you have to, in your life to be happy, you have to have meaning and purpose. And you're not going to get meaning and purpose from chips and video games. You're not going to necessarily get purpose from money either, but money is a tool. It's a resource that can help you to find your purpose. And sometimes people find purpose in work and jobs in their careers. Sometimes they don't. I guess it depends what field you're in. Anyways, what other questions do we have? MAGA needs to jump on UBI because UBI is a populist policy. Absolutely, Vaughn. I'll be honest. I don't get why Trump isn't making like cash payments. It seems like the perfect thing. It seems like exactly the type of thing Trump would do. Be like, we're gonna have Trump bucks, okay? We're gonna have Trump bucks. $2,000 a month. My face is gonna be on the checks. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be beautiful. Nancy Pelosi, she doesn't want to give money to the people. She wants to give money to Jeff Bezos and Google and Silicon Valley. We want to give money to the people. Like, why isn't that the thing? Instead, we talk about like culture wars and like how American education isn't pro-American enough and a bunch of other stupid crap that has nothing to do with anything. So, hey, Darth Clyde. I even have the Trump hair, so that you can tell this hair. Look, it's very windy. This is real hair. Very real. You said it's fake. I can assure you. The hair is real. We're going to just keep streaming until either I get bored or you guys get bored. Why are there so many dislikes, Dimitri? Probably because I was talking trash. Did Zach leave? I see the name changed. No, Zach did not. Well, Zach didn't leave. Wait, yeah, he did leave. Let me talk about Zach. Zach became a Trump supporter, so what can you do, you know? I don't know. Just kidding. I don't care if Zach became a Trump supporter. Zach just lost interest in the channel. Go to the fucking SCOTUS. Where is SCOTUS? Here. Thanks, Arkansas, for Yang. I hope you enjoy the NOLA March. I love New Orleans, by the way. It's awesome. UBI for illegal aliens, too? No, you can't have it where non-citizens get UBI, because then you create a huge incentive for illegal immigration. And personally, I'm not someone who thinks that like we should have open borders or anything like that. Am I on Constitution Ave? Yeah, I don't know. We're on the mall. Are you feminists? Depends. Like, how would you define there? Because there's different definitions of feminism. I don't know. Shutting down the economy is killing more people than the virus. Hey George. I do think that there was a question in the beginning of the pandemic. Like, okay, this is how I look at lockdowns in general. And to me, lockdowns, unless you were going to lock down the economy until we got a vaccine, like, it was inevitable that, unfortunately, that there were going to be cases and COVID deaths. Because it seems to me like the point of the lockdown was more so to have time for the hospitals to get ready and build supplies, and for the hospitals to get therapeutics. And like, so the idea that we would just have like a perpetual lockdown for like a year or 2 years till we get a vaccine that may or may not ever come, I don't necessarily know if that was ever realistic. So if that was going to happen, where we had like a year or two lockdown, I do think that in theory could have been more destructive than the virus itself. But you said it was a fake virus, and it's definitely not fake. You're fake. Sad.
The virus isn't fake, okay? I don't know why you would suggest the virus is fake, okay? I'm your president. I'm telling you right now that the virus is real.
Do you think Trump is bought off by the rich or no? No, I don't think. I think that's the way Trump works. If Trump likes you, if you're on Trump's good side, basically in Trump's mind, it's either people who like suck up to him or don't suck up to him, and that's how you like get on Trump's good or bad side. I don't even know. I'm kind of rambling. Anyways, more questions. We're taking your questions at 1-863-889-4838. That is, again, 1-863-889-4848. 1-863-889-4848. Taking your calls, your cell phone calls here on the Zach and Matt Show. And, we have someone to interview. Anyone seen Lindsey Graham? I'm looking for Lindsey Graham. Should we keep streaming? Do you think Trump is upset about his rally? Is Trump having a rally today? What do you mean? Like, why would he be upset about his rally? Which one? Is there news or something? What happened? Do you guys want to go to SCOTA, the Supreme Court? You want to hear a call? 1-877-386-4849. 1-877-386-4849. Get your calls in. 1-877-386-4849. Hello, Hyde from Hawaii. Rip the iPhone in Lafayette Square. No, that's actually the phone we're using. I got it back. I got it back like a month after I lost it. Crazy Nancy and Despacito Joe going to win the election. Dude, the best part of the Despacito Joe clip is just the incredible amount of meme content that will forever be available from that clip. I'm trying to think of something really funny to create one of my own memes. I haven't thought of anything good yet. I don't know. So like when you talk about the shutdown, it does seem that perhaps, and I know this will be controversial, but it does seem that perhaps the blue states are keeping the shutdown going on longer, or maybe in ways that hurt. Like, I'm like especially worried about like the restaurant industry in certain like blue cities and blue areas. That does seem political, like they're just keeping it shut down because if the economy is bad, it's bad for Trump. I don't know. Excuse me, do you know where the Supreme Court is? Okay. By the way, what about Lindsey Graham? I'm looking for Lindsey Graham. White guy. Said he was gonna not have a vote on the Supreme Court till after the election. So I'm gonna go remind him of that. Alright, sorry for bothering you, ma'am. I don't think BMX is not about missing bars and restaurants. It's about the owners of the bars and restaurants, because those are small businesses. That's my friend. I'm just messing with you guys. Who I'm ignoring for the stream. Yo. Have you noticed more people stressed and in bad moods? Probably. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't really go outside that much and like interact. I'm kind of a couch potato. Alright, we're going to the Supreme Court. Hoo-yah. Not a potato farmer. Is free money for freeloaders universal welfare? No one will work, LOL. Alright, same question I just posed earlier to someone. 01 Bletch. If you got $1,000 extra per month, would you stop working? Serious question. If you got an extra $1,000 a month, if I paid you $1,000 a month beginning tomorrow, every single month for the next 5 years, would you stop working? I don't think so, because if you did, you'd fucking be out on your ass, because you can't live off $1,000 a month. It's a floor. It's a floor. It's a floor. It's an economic floor. So that you have the basic means for survival and a little extra resources. My rent payment is more than $1,000 a month. If I only had $1,000 a month and stopped working, I would be homeless. Who can live on $1,000 a month? Where can you live on $1,000 a month? People would stop working. And then like another thing is too, with all these like cheap, dumb arguments that people use on UBI that don't even apply anymore, is like how if you actually look at anywhere that UBI has been tried, like in limited experiments, all the data points that people don't stop working. It shows the actual opposite. People's productivity levels go up. What about all the people who already don't work? And then like another thing about like the whole idea that people would like magically stop working if they got wait, what was I gonna say? Shit, we're struggling here. I'm struggling. Shit, I was gonna say something smart. Damn it. Yeah, Jaden, if you got an extra $1,000 a month and that allowed you to eat healthier, that's fucking fantastic. That's amazing. That's actually a net savings to society, because hopefully, if you're eating healthier, thanks to your universal basic income, you're going to be healthier later in life and spending less money on healthcare. And as we know, healthcare is the largest cost of anything that anybody pays for. So, what was I going to say though? Yo, what up, Tucker? Oh, Tucker Banger. Yo, what up, Tucker? Yo. Are there any progressive Republicans? I just hear about the Dems to me. All the progressives are basically third party, but have to run in a party. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, to me, I don't really, I think the definition of progressive, it means different things to different people. Like, to me, some people, when they hear progressive, they probably think like crazy Bernie bro, but when I hear progressive, I just think people who are focused on solutions that are new and would move us forward, not necessarily that they are lefty ideas. Hold on, I gotta take a break. I'm like losing my train of thought. Talking too much. Your mortgage is $300 a month? Fuck, I need to move to Hawaii. What? Off grid? Damn. That's cool, hello Hawaii. But honestly, if you could live off $1,000 a month in fucking Hawaii, all the power to you. Get some food and drink. Nah, I'm not hungry. Nice to meet you, Jen. I'm Matt. Yeah. Here in fucking, where are we, DC? So I live about 30 minutes from here in downtown, and my rent's like $1,600 a month. It blows. It's the number one reason I want to move out of this area. It's too expensive. So no, I would definitely not stop working if I got UBI. I would definitely not stop working. I want to move to Texas. I think real estate's cheap there. But I have to save up money first. I don't know. There's a lot of Texas is a huge state. Not in like the Houston area because they're too prone to flooding, and not by the coast because I don't want to deal with hurricanes. Why Texas? Cheap real estate prices, no income tax. What else? That's probably it. I think it's cheap. It's like, I think Texas is like the 4th cheapest state to live in or something like that. And here in this area, it's super expensive. Big property tax. Ooh. Yeah. Speaking of property taxes, don't live in New Jersey. David's Tent, DC. El Paso is great. Brand new houses for $150K. See, that's what I'm talking about. Here, I've been talking to my friend who lives in New Jersey about this. Because New Jersey also has like really high like prices for housing and stuff like that. Like a 1,500 square foot, like 2-3 bedroom place, like 2 bathroom, like just a home, nothing special, built like 50 years ago. In this area, it's like $400,000 freaking dollars for, and that's like not even, it's just like the basic home. And you can just go to El Paso where it's $150K. Chad Tugger says, or no, Jen says El Paso is the armpit of the country. Oh, Texas BBQ. El Paso. I don't know. What other questions can we talk about? We were arguing about UBI. What happened? Very hot in the summers. Is there humidity? Yeah, there's definitely humidity in Texas. What am I thinking? I've actually never been to Texas. Hawaii? I was reading Hawaii is really expensive to live in. Hawaii would be crazy though. I can't imagine living in Hawaii. All I know is I'm gonna try to move before a potential Yang 2024 run. That way I could, like, if Yang runs again, I can focus all my time on that and not like other stuff. Vegas. Vegas, perfect for left-wingers. My parents moved from Hawaii, sold their condo for $250K. It's worth almost $1 million now. Rip Mark. Yang doesn't want Medicare for all. It depends. It depends how you find Medicare for all, because I'm pretty sure the way that Yang sees it is he wouldn't want to outright ban private insurance, whereas Bernie Bros under Medicare for all, like Bernie's bill, his bill would get rid of, I think, like 98% of the private insurance market. I personally am a fan of Yang's position on it because, to me, like, no matter how predatory and awful and greedy you think the pharmaceutical companies are, and they absolutely are, it doesn't mean that, like, the people who work in that industry, like, just the people who are the sales representative at the healthcare company, or the insurance company, or the janitor at the insurance company, the people who work in the offices, the people who work front desks, those are real jobs. And I don't necessarily, it's the same reason, like, with the Green New Deal, I just don't think, like, you can just tell thousands or millions of people, hey, you've been working in the oil industry for your whole life, or hey, you've been a health insurance agent your whole life, and now we're gonna, by the force of government, take away your job and say, you know what, but guess what, we're gonna give you a new green job, like building solar panels or something. I don't see that as, like, that's just too much government. Like, who wants to work for the freaking government? I don't view that as, like, freedom. So how's it going out there? Oh, we finished CJ Boy. We decided to keep streaming because we got in a huge argument over UBI, and then someone suggested to walk to the Supreme Court, which I don't even know if we're heading in the right direction. So let me check the map. Yang? Gang. Yo, what up, guys? How's it going, bro? Signal's getting glitchy? It should be good. It says 30 FPS right now. Have a great day, Jen. Enjoy. SCOTUS building is near the... Oh, shit. Then we're heading the wrong way. Nah, I don't think we are. What is he? We're in the Federal Triangle. Yeah, what the fuck? Oh. Oops. We've been walking the wrong way. Oops. Hello, Bloopy Doopy from Texas. Yeah, guys, we're having fun. All right, we're a 1 mile walk away from the Supreme Court. Is that where we're headed? Should we go? Oh, man. Day in the life. What do we want, UBI? When do we want it? Now. Thank you. Well. This feels like the 2019 days. I'll be honest. I hope you guys are. Oops. I hope you guys are excited. I'm extremely excited to get back out there on the campaign trail, like whenever it's time. Because honestly, there is nothing like going around and campaigning for something you truly believe in and getting to bring all of you along the ride. Freedom equals racist. Culture is a... Huh? This guy drinks so much soy. I don't drink any soy milk. Soy milk's disgusting. They get enough money. Problem is usually the money all misappropriated. Let me see. Before there's any extra. Yeah, so that's like one of the reasons behind UBI as well, is this idea that the government is notorious for wasting money and losing money. Like, I'm sure, like, all of you have seen, like, the Pentagon reports about how the military just randomly lost, like, billions of dollars. Freaking all, like, the government waste. You'll see something that, like, seems like it should cost, like, a few $100,000, and it goes, like, over budget by, like, $30 million. Government sucks. They're very inefficient with handling our money. So why not, instead of having them decide for us what they're going to waste it on, they could just give us the $1,000 a month, use the money, just give it to us, and then we can decide how we want to spend it. Some people will wait. Oh, I remember what I was going to say earlier. This goes back on my topic. So everyone was talking about, like, what about the people who would stop working under UBI? This is one of those things that is really important to me, because it also goes along with the argument that says, like, what about people who spend their UBI on drugs? The idea that you would, like, disallow, say, let's be conservative, and say only 75% spend their money wisely and 25% spend it unwisely. I actually think it would be, like, 90-10 or, like, 95-5. But let's just say 75-25. The idea that you're going to not let, like, 75% of the country get their help that they need, that they would use in the proper way because a small minority would use it incorrectly. To me, it's just like another argument that doesn't hold up. Like, why would you let what's happening at the fringe prevent a majority of people from receiving help? What is David's tent? I think it's a church service. There's something. Hi, my name's Matthew, and if you've heard anything about me, you heard that I'm a white boy Jew who supports Andrew Yang for president. Remember when I first heard that? Remember when you first heard that? Nothing like the first time. Now, when you first heard this, you thought it was a gimmick. You thought it was too good to be true. But it turns out, this is a deeply American idea. Thomas Paine called it the citizen's dividend at the founding of our country. Martin Luther King championed it in the 60s, called it the guaranteed minimum income. And it was what he was fighting for the day he was assassinated in 1968. In 1970 and 1971, it passed the House of Representatives twice under the Nixon administration. And then 11 years later, one state passed a version of the dividend where everyone in that state got between $1,000 and $2,000 per year. And what state is that? That's right, Alaska. And how do they pay for it? Oil. And what is the oil of the 21st century?
That's right, clean coal, the cleanest of all coal. Where's the clean coal? Raise your hand if you got your clean coal check in the mail. That's right, you didn't get it. Where did the clean coal check go? It went to big wind and big solar and big geothermal. All the worst people in the world.
Oh, shit. There's so many ways that Trump would be able to win the election so easily, but he's just not going for them. Like UBI, legalizing weed, Can you do a Melania Trump impersonation? I don't think so. I can do an Obama sometimes. But my Obama's like on and off. I have to channel it if I want it to be successful. Yeah, hello. My name is Barack Obama, and you need to vote out Donald. Donald, he's trying to wreck my agenda. Don't let it happen. See, I feel like that was okay, and then it progressively got worse the longer I did it. Yeah, I just gotta channel my inner Obama, or as some call him, O'Biden. Trump's nickname games are weak this year. Like O'Biden. Come on, bro. Air and Space Museum. How much student loan debt do you have, host? I did not go to college, so I have 0 student loan debt. Do you think under Biden it would get passed temporarily? Do I think that Biden, under a Biden administration, that UBI would be passed? No. Do I think that cash payments could be passed? Not really, because we haven't even seen Joe even mention, like in a speech, direct cash payments. It hasn't come up, and it's really baffling. But yeah, I don't think college. I don't think was for me, so I didn't go. Mark, you keep saying that, but have you like actually looked at the language on Biden's website, like where he actually talks about it? And it's like the language is so like, I forget the exact wording, but it's like Joe supports potentially looking into the idea of some people getting money, or like this is an option. It's not very it's very soft. How do you figure that a city can still a UBI? You'll have to ask that question again. I assume there's a typo in there. Matt, is Zach ever going to come back in like 2024? I love your content. Oh, thank you, Cronus. I really hope Zach comes back at some point. It's not like I'm saying, yo, Zach, fuck you. You abandoned me. You abandoned me when I needed you the most. You can never come back. Nah, I would love for Zach to come on, because truthfully, I don't know how many of you have been watching the channel for a while, but when me and Zach first did like our Zach and Matt Show podcast, I think we started it last October, and we did it like maybe 9 episodes. I actually thought we had a pretty good show, pretty good dynamics, because me and Zach, we have very similar personalities. We've known each other for a long time. So we just like, our conversations flow well, and I think like we kind of can read each other's mind a little bit. So I think like if we could get that dynamic going again, it would actually be a great show for all of you to enjoy and watch. And I think it'd be cool to talk about like just politics and try to put like a Yang Gang spin, or like a Humanity First spin on politics. But yeah, Zach doesn't have any interest. So Tertiary says he got 2 degrees for free thanks to socialism. how could one adopt the UBI plan in a city? Like if I run for mayor or city councilman, because Walmarts and other places, also like Amazon stores, would leave and we lose money? Yeah, so that's a very good question. And it's interesting because I actually have asked Andrew Yang the same question before when I interviewed him on my channel back in April, because there's all these rumors floating around how, oh, Yang could run for New York City mayor. So I wanted to know, okay, if Yang became mayor, how would he try to get a UBI pass? So the question was to him, like, so how would a mayor in like some city somewhere pass UBI? And Yang goes, well, Matt, and I said, and I was like, because, you know, what if, like, it's, how would you fund it? And like, what if you work in the district but live out of the district, etc., etc. And Yang goes, well, Matt, now you see why I ran for president and not like city council. And he's referencing that New York Times guy who said on the editorial board, who said maybe Yang should have just ran for city council. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with trying to do a UBI. Oh, it's fucking loud here. There's a lot of problems with trying to do a UBI on a local city level, but like there's definitely, in my opinion, ways to do it. I like probably above, I'm not smart enough to figure it out though. Are you gay or just a millennial? I'm a Zoomer, bro. But unfortunately for you, I am straight, so we won't be able to intermingle. Would like the Amazon, like if you had a local UBI, let's say in Seattle, you were funding it through some way that made Amazon freak out and take their offices out of Seattle, I don't think they would do it. I don't think so. I think Amazon's like, the company like is too big for them to move their HQ over what one city locality does, in my opinion. Are you close to wherever? I think we're getting there. Ooh. Where's my friend? She doesn't want to be on camera, if you can't tell. Huh. We lost her. Onward!
Marcia, you're right.
Can't be pro tax cuts and anti-UBI. Can't be pro tax cuts and anti-UBI. Can't be pro tax cuts but anti-UBI. I feel like there's a lot of people who would be pro tax cuts but anti-UBI, like aka most of the Republican Party. I am anti-taxation and anti-communist slavery, aka UBI. Yeah. UBI, Pancake says UBI destroys wealth and savings. How would UBI destroy wealth and savings? Wouldn't, in theory, UBI add to wealth and savings? Because, like, so, you, for example, let's say you have right now, let's say, Pancake, let's say you have a net worth of $1 million, right? You're a pretty well off, lower upper class American. You have a house that is paid off, $500,000 in equity. You have, I don't know, $250,000 in the stock market or whatever. And then you have you have $250,000 in your bank account or some bullshit. How is a UBI gonna take money away from you in any of those scenarios? there's not going to be increased property taxes to pay for you. Under Yang's plan, there wouldn't have been increased property taxes to pay for UBI. If now, one thing Yang would do is he wanted to increase the capital gains tax, but if you have that $250,000 in a tax-free retirement account, you don't even have to worry about that. So, like, I feel like the people who would pay a higher capital gains tax are the people who could afford to pay a higher capital gains tax, not like middle class or like lower upper class Americans who actually worked hard and made it. I don't know. Oh, where are we going? We're walking. Oops. UBI is pretty much like a tax cut almost. I don't know. It's a tax cut. UBI is a tax cut for everyone who makes under a certain amount per year. I know that. Do not buy Tesla options, bro. I'm gonna go bankrupt. Sorry about that. We're gonna have to start we need to start a Yang Gang finance channel, because we all have to save money so we can max out in 2024. Dude, Patrick, I wouldn't do, if you're doing speculative, anybody actually watching this, I wouldn't do any speculative call option buying right now. The market is a very precarious, volatile spot, and it could go down further and you could get fucked. So I would just wait till like after the election and things are less volatile. But then again, you can make money on volatility. You can also lose money. Good luck. All right, that's all I'm giving out for stock market advice.
Who are the not smarts who trusted con artists like Trump anyways? They should just inject themselves with disinfectants.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think people should do that, but... You never said the argument for why the rich should get it. Oh, okay. You want to hear the argument for why the rich should get UBI? It's really not necessarily like that. It's not like It's not like Jeff Bezos or whatever needs an extra $1,000 a month at all, right? But the reason that you make it universal and you just give it to everyone is because for the vast majority of people, even people who are pretty comfortable, it's still going to help them because they can put it into savings for their kids' education or for retirement, just things that's going to make people breathe easier and a little happier. Like just not the people that it actually would legit like be helpful to their means of survival. So just that alone, like so many people are going to benefit from it. But then yeah, there are those few people who they don't need an extra $1,000 a month. So why do you give it to them anyway? Because if you have to means test universal basic income and track who is making what wage, and suddenly you have all this income reporting and all this paperwork and bureaucracy and BS, I think it gets rid of one of the key tenets of what makes universal basic income so beautiful, and that's the simplicity of the idea. Because in theory, it should be very simple to give everybody in the United States a bank account using one of the local post offices, just like we kind of used to do, and deposit money into them every month into their accounts. But if you have all this reporting and BS and bureaucracy, we end up getting what we're seeing with the $1,200 a month stimulus payments, where I literally know people in my own life who were eligible for the stimulus payments and still here 6-7 months after they've been cashed, they have yet to receive their stimulus payments. That's a direct effect of means testing. So, yo, Hosmark, you gotta chill. Can someone kick Hosmark out of the chat? He's ruining my chat. Ruining my chat, Hosmar. Come on, bro. What the fuck, man? You're ruining my chat. Are you voting for Biden? So I'm not gonna vote for Trump or Biden because I think they both suck, and I live in Maryland anyway, so my state has like the highest number of registered Democrats. We're gonna go blue by like 30 points, so I am not gonna vote for either of them. Henry Lang says, bro, I'm in Maryland too. Yo, what up, Maryland gang? Fuck your lame channel anyways. Hey, you're watching it, so if this is lame... Yeah, never mind. Couldn't think of a good one. As a Republican, I favor UBI. Sweet, yeah, you should. I think everybody should enjoy UBI. How do you feel about the stupidity and hypocrisy of Trump wanting to get Ted Cruz to become SCOTUS? Yeah, that's not going to happen. There is no way in hell that Ted Cruz would become the SCOTUS nominee for many, many reasons. But he won't be the pick. I wouldn't worry about it. I think that the GOP is going to I think the GOP is going to nominate a woman to the Supreme Court. Yeah, I'm definitely still voting DP, because even if like this is actually really important. Even if you're out there and you're like, I fucking hate Biden and I hate Trump and I don't want to vote for either of them, even if people are going to try to vote shame me or whatever into choosing one of them, that's cool. But you should still make sure you vote, because you should still go to turn in your ballot or vote or whatever, because there are down ballot races. And like in California, for example, there's CA Prop 24, which is California Data Privacy Protection Law. And in Massachusetts, they're going to have a question on the ballot for ranked choice voting. That's really important. So you definitely want to still show up. Like I'm definitely voting. I'm just not going to vote for Trump or Biden at the top of the ticket. I'm going to end up writing in Yang because I can. Ha. Maryland.
That's pretty cool.
How long was it if we do Yang's plan? Like 4 or 8 years. And if not, only pays for itself, makes us money. Yeah, Philip brings up one part of why they aren't going to pick Ted Cruz. If you pick Ted Cruz, you have suddenly an open Senate seat in a state that has been trending more and more blue. Are we at the Supreme Court yet? We're at the Capitol. Let me check my phone. All right, we're 12 minutes away. 12 minutes away, team. Rocket Racer says, Ted Cruz is another hypocrite Republican. DP says, do you think we can get a third party to 5% of the vote this election? I don't think so, no. I think because of the Supreme Court that more and more people who were considering like voting green or voting libertarian are going to end up voting either Republican or Democrat. What do you say to those who recommend Joe Biden simply because he could win rather than voting for someone who actually stands with the policies you want? I don't really have a good answer for that because you only really have two choices the way it's set up. You either get Trump or Biden. And I think for the vast majority of people who think like we do in the Yang Gang and like-minded folks don't really agree with Trump or Biden on policy, but that's your options, so ultimately that's what you get. What do you think of the People's Party convention? I think it's a cool, interesting idea. I know Yang was actually invited to speak at it, but and he retweeted a lot of clips from it and gave it a lot of support. Scott Sands spoke at it. Yang ultimately didn't speak at it probably because like he spoke at the DNC convention. It would probably be like, I don't know. I think like most people know like Yang's in this thing right now where he's on Team Democrat, and if you were expecting like differently, well, we could talk about that because there's probably some people, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling and ranting. Is it looking like Yang would have a position in the Biden's cabinet? Yeah, Biden, I'd say like 95% certainty that if Biden wins, Yang will be in the administration. How do I convince my boomer dad that UBI isn't just a handout? This is the way that I think you convince people that it's not just a handout. Because with a handout, to me, like a handout is where like it's like a form of charity. It's like saying like, oh, we pity on you, so we're gonna give you this handout. What universal basic income is supposed to be and should be is like as what you heard earlier during the march. It really should be like if you want to be like, because when I'm talking about like to Republicans, I like to mix in some Republican stuff. So like it really should be like a God-given like human right like that we all have because we are the owners and shareholders of this country, and this is a payment, this is a dividend for all of us. That's like one way to talk about it. I think too you also have to like destigmatize this idea that help is bad, that somehow like receiving money is bad, because corporations and Wall Street, that's all they do. That's all they do is take money. So they don't feel any shame about it. Why should everyday average people? Oh, yeah, and you could always go for your job's gonna be replaced and you're gonna have to learn to code unless you have UBI, you're screwed. Joe Mama says, I'm a loser and I want free money. You're a dumb fuck. Thank you. Rocket Racer says, we need fascist Trump out. Is Trump a fascist? I don't know. Yeah, it's more of an allowance. Yeah, like, I wouldn't say like, you have to just frame it in a sense like, I do really like the line like, we are the owners and shareholders of this country and this is a dividend for us. Good news, even losers get the freedom dividend. Losers for UBI. Imagine The Rock from WWE Wrestling ran for president, and his slogan was, the people's champ. He would fucking just win. Zach and Macho, have you looked into Georgism and land value tax? I have not. I honestly have no clue what that is. But I could look into it. Isaiah, just DM me on Twitter, and I can look, like, later.
Juan says that we're total fraud, total losers. I'm not a loser. You guys are the losers. Failed big businessman, entrepreneur, communist spy, Andrew, comrade, Tiny Wang. All of his supporters, they just want all the illegal immigrants to get $1,000 a month. No questions asked, it's ridiculous.
All right, we're almost here, team. There's the Capitol. Let's look. It's the most useless building in America. The U.S. Capitol. Since companies are people, they should have been... Yeah. Since companies are people, why didn't they only get 1,200? It's a good point. Trump basically works for corporate, yeah. I don't think Trump doesn't work for corporate. He's actually just too stupid to realize if he's like was just a populist, he'd actually be more likely to win. He likes the corporatists because they're nice to him. And they make him feel warm and tingly inside. All right, Supreme Court is just over here. Joe says, why don't you move to your favorite socialist country? Well, Joe, I know this is going to be surprising to hear, but myself and many other UBI supporters, we actually aren't socialists or like communists or like, I don't necessarily want to live in Venezuela or like Russia or anything. I actually kind of like the USA. I think USA is a pretty good place. I just think it could be better if we gave everybody $1,000 per month so that they just had the basic floor to survive. So, like, this is honestly my suggestion, Joe Mama. If you want to convince people that UBI is a bad idea, you're going to have to find better arguments than just, like, saying, like, which socialist country do you want to live in? Because it's just not effective. And it's very important in this day and age to have coherent, effective political arguments. Right? Otherwise, how can you convince people? Maybe you could convince me that UBI is a terrible idea, bud. Heck yeah, Victoria. We're back. We should just stream every day. We should just do these. Like, we walk through and just rant. I need a haircut. I cut my own hair like a month ago. Can you tell? Did I do okay?
It's reached that stage.
There's the Russell Senate office building behind us. Why isn't generations of welfare raised? Why hasn't generations of welfare raised minorities out of poverty? Well, it's actually impossible for poverty to, or welfare to raise you out of poverty, because the way that our current welfare system works, and this is actually something that Republican-minded folks and conservative and fiscally conservative folks should like, is when I say this, is the fact that right now on the current welfare program and the current welfare system, if your income starts to exceed a certain amount, you suddenly lose your benefits. And that's like a lot of people in conservative land, they hate that. They think it's stupid because it's means testing, it's bureaucracy. So like if you're on like some welfare assistance program or whatever, and suddenly you're making like $30,000 a year, but let's say your benefits are capped at $35,000, suddenly if you get a raise at work and you suddenly make over $35,000, you actually lose your welfare benefits, and effectively that raise that you got actually just got reversed because you lost your benefits on top of it. With UBI, that doesn't happen because it's universal, unconditional. You get it no matter what. You get it if you're the richest American, you get it if you're the poorest American. Yes, that's the idea. $1K a month is not welfare. It's not a handout. It's a cash floor for all of us to have because we are the owners and shareholders of this country. UBI should be as American as apple pie.
It's also hard to know. It's like, it's just such a fall day. Yeah.
Who pays for it? That's a great question, because ideally this is like really important, because how you pay for it is very important. I was a big fan of Yang's plan because I'm not a fan of taxes, but I felt like what Yang did is he found a way to pay for this super giant expensive plan without doing it in a way that I think would cause massive tax increases on especially the middle and lower class and even rich people. So how would he do it? His primary way was with the 10% value added tax that would cause companies like Amazon, who currently pay $0 in federal income tax, to suddenly have to pay taxes. I do think that the whole conversation though of how are you going to pay for it is kind of it's been exposed as not a real argument, because our current national debt is $27 trillion. We've added 7 or 8, 9 trillion just since March, and money printer go burr, stocks only go up, blah 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 blah. Just kidding, ignore the last part. Money printer go burr, J-Pal go burr. I don't think we should fund a UBI with a wealth tax. I don't think a wealth tax is a good idea because I don't think it can actually be implemented. I don't even know if a wealth tax is constitutional, to be honest. But I'm not so the other way Yang wanted to fund it was with a carbon tax. Again, some people would say, oh, but a carbon tax, it's going to increase gas prices. That's a tax on the middle class. You may be right, but overall, I think with the extra $1,000 a month, you would come out on top. Anyways, here's Supreme Court. No, wait, wrong way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Darth Clyde. What about trolls?
But wouldn't people stop working? But how do we pay for it? But isn't UBI socialism? But the rent's gonna go up.
Can't stop thinking about it. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Bubble tea desert. It's a food. There's a guy with a pineapple. He's over there. So happy.
Joe Mama says, reality is something you guys are having a hard time getting a grip on. I don't know, Joe Mama. I don't know. What if that we're right and maybe you're wrong?
Friend's little sister's Girl Scout troop left, and she brought me with her. There's a woman in the middle. Went on like
Joe Mama, pretty good to be honest. Because I'm 21 years old, so I'm on my parents' plan until I'm 26. So convenient. Thank you, Obama. Alright, I think you guys seen it. I also want to argue with Joe Mama more. It's entertaining. This sign here says Trump is a unstable penis. It sounds interesting. Alright, team. Time to start walking back to the car. Yeah, I was kind of being sarcastic, tertiary. I think, like, overall, Obamacare has a lot of flaws. I actually didn't like the individual mandate part. And some people would say, etc. I don't know. Well, Joe Mama, like, you're saying, like, that people who want universal basic income have, like, no drive, no determination, no passion, no anything. And I just think that's, like, a very silly way to look at things. Because I think that one way that you help people develop drive and motivation and determination is to give them not what's gonna make them rich or even be able to live. Like you can't live off of $1,000 a month. But if you give people a leg up and take the boot off their neck, I think what you would see is people would become more entrepreneurial. They would become more entrepreneurial. They would become more creative. They would do more stuff that otherwise they wouldn't be able to do in the first place, because at the end of the day, capital is a tool. It's a resource, and you need it to do most things. Not that everybody should just be given some live off the government dime and have their whole life taken care of them, but the idea that you can have a society where everybody just has maybe the basics covered and, like, be able to spend less of their time worrying about how they're going to pay next month's bills, and perhaps spend more time thinking about that new creative endeavor that they've been wanting to do for the past 5 years but have never had any time or money to try it. Yo, what up, Ramble? I've been catching up in chat. Brian said Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk all started their business in a garage. What's stopping you? I don't have a garage. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Joe. I mean, look, we can have like all like the key thing is people can disagree all day on like the policies and all that stuff, but I do think it's important to have discussions about it. And like not so like I don't know, me for example, I think my political views are kind of like hard to fit in a box because I like in some areas I'm kind of conservative, but in other areas I'm like super left wing out of crazy town or whatever. But nonetheless, like I try to watch I watch CNN, like cable news, like to get the bullshit like neoliberal view of the world. I watch Fox News to hear what like Trumpers are saying. I have like actual people I actually like listening to, which like for lefty stuff is Kyle Kulinski, and for stuff on the right it's like Ben Shapiro. Like I try to read like all sorts of different news sources and opinions because I want to know what everybody is thinking and saying, not just the people who are in my bubble. So I lost my friend again. Oh, Kevin Yu. I should change the title. The march already happened. It like ended like an hour and half ago. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, sorry, Kevin Yu. The march already happened. We've literally just been walking around, and I've been like ranting to the camera for like the past hour and a half. It's pretty fun. Bad stuff. Do you guys remember, I don't know if anybody would remember this. I know somebody who's watching the stream would. But do you remember when we were in Iowa, in Ames, Iowa, and we were canvassing on stream with Fred in early December, and the first door we knocked on was this one guy, and he said he was so unhappy with the state of the country and thought things were going so downhill and he was like, yeah, you could try to tell me about this Andrew Yang guy, but I'm moving. I'm heading back to, I think he was heading back to Sweden or something. It's like, I'm out of here. I won't even be around when the primary happens. Darth Clyde remembers him. So it's not uncommon. What is Matt token on? It's just a vape. I'm trying to read the screen, but the sun's messing me up. What happened to Zach? Zach just lost interest in the channel, which is pretty disappointing because it was like honestly his idea to start a YouTube channel. But yeah, Zach's been just doing his own thing. Oh, there's my friend. Yeah, we're still chill. Me and Zach will always be chill. Like, the friendship goes back too long. Like, me and Zach literally, we were born 3 months apart, and we've lived across the street from each other our whole lives until, like, now I have my own apartment and Zach lives at school. But, like, it's like life. Well, me and Zach are like lifelong friends, like, no matter what. So, oh yeah, I don't think vaping is good for you, but we all have our problems and our vices. Zach didn't go radical left. He went actually MAGA. Zach's all in on Trump. How is UBI communism? Explain this to me, Joe. Like, be honest. Let's have a conversation. How is UBI communism? You're gonna have to explain it to me. I'm waiting. We're taking your calls at 986-187-9894, 186-987-1894, 986-187-1894. Yeah, because that's another thing. Define communism. Because communism is when, that's like the Soviet Union, when the government owns, it's getting loud because cars are coming by. It's when the government owns all means of production and controls everything in the economy, when UBI is actually the opposite of communism, because communism is the government controlling the money, the government controlling the means, the government controlling the capital. UBI is the government not hoarding the capital, it's giving the capital to you into your pockets. Opposite of communism. It's freedom. UBI is freedom. Money can help you be a more freer person, so you don't have to get trapped in some god-awful career you don't like. Maybe if you had an extra $1,000 a month, you'd be able to switch to something that maybe made a little bit less money, or maybe it even made more money, but it's something that you weren't even able to have an opportunity to do because you couldn't afford to move to the other side of the country or something like that. So anyways, where'd we park? All right, we're a 20-minute walk from the car. I think, in some ways, you could argue that some parts of the COVID shutdown perhaps were government overreach into the private lives of Americans. But then I also do think that you have taken into consider the national health emergency crisis argument as well. So it's an interesting balance. I don't know about that, Renee. I don't see any scenario in which we wouldn't have shut down. I don't know. Me and Ramble, we probably have really opposite views on something like the Trump tapes that came out recently. You don't even realize how indoctrinated you are, and the country has been has been subverted by communist ideologues. I don't, again, like, I feel like the Yang Gang is the wrong place to, like, talk about, like, how communism and indoctrination and lefty craziness, because, like, Yang Gang people, we don't care about, like, the labels. We don't care. We're just focused on solutions. It's not left, it's not right, it's forward. We are like I feel like the better place to maybe take that, like, fear stuff, or maybe Bernie Town, I don't know. Yo, what up, Pat? He ain't a closet commie, brother. And I also, like, like, you'll find out. You know, if Bernie was elected, and Bernie has a lot of, like, more policies that are based in, like, on the idea of, like, socialism and big government and, like, less capitalist interventions into the economy, like, shit, what was I gonna say? Like, I still don't even think that there'd be, like, if you're someone who was fearful of that stuff, I don't even think that there'd really be a good reason to worry, because we have a government where we have three, what are supposed to be three co-equal branches with checks and balances. Like, do you actually think that a Democratic, like, even a Democratic Congress would pass a Green New Deal or, like, Bernie Medicare for all? Hell no. Like, so, like, what the idea, like, I know, like, Yang's not, like, some closet commie, but even if he or anybody else was some, like, crazy communist commie, it's not the end of the world. None of their shit would even happen. Oh, Robert, the march ended already. We've just been walking around for like 2 hours, but we could turn it into a one-man UBI march. What do we want? UBI. When do we want it? Now. Ooh, nice flowers. Matt can be so cringy sometimes, but that's why we love you. Marty? 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 Hey, Marty. Marty! I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving. Doesn't seem like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with moving out of the USA if you think USA is fallen downward. There's a lot of cool places to live in the world, like Japan, New Zealand, Europe, Asia, basically like anywhere in the world, South America, Canada. Thoughts on RBG? Oh, depends like which part, I guess. Like what I think should happen with the nomination and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I think it's, I wrote this on Twitter earlier, but like I think it's pretty obvious, fairly obvious to like most reasonable people, no matter if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, that having a Supreme Court nomination process during the election season or during a lame duck session of Congress after the election is over would just be terrible for the country. It would polarize us so much more than we are already polarized. I kind of view the country right now as like, it's like a very thin thread that's holding it all together. And if you were to do something like that, it would just cut it in half and things are going to break apart and it's going to be all hell and chaos. But what's my actual prediction that's going to happen? I think that Republicans will nominate someone before the election, possibly even hold hearings before the election, but they won't have a confirmation vote till after the election. And they'll use that as a way to motivate their base to show up and vote. And then win or lose, I think they'll end up just confirming that pick in the lame duck session of Congress, even if they lost the election. Because if you're a Republican, why wouldn't you? Like, it's literally a chance to swing the court to the right for the next decade at least. And even though like the argument I was making earlier, it's like, well, even if you're a Republican, like there is like this idea of like national unity and like decency and like maybe we shouldn't tear the country apart just for like a Supreme Court seat. But it's the Supreme Court, and you're seeing it like with Lindsey Graham. He's going to end up reversing on the his earlier comments about confirming a Supreme Court justice in an election year, or not doing it, because he would just get destroyed. Like in South Carolina, Trump would tweet saying how bad he sucks, and he's in it's an election year for him, and he's in a close race. Like, the political incentives are too aligned for most Republicans to go along with Trump and go along with the base. So if you're someone who really cares about the Supreme Court and it not being like super conservative, or you're really worried about RBG's seat, I would suggest to mentally prepare for it being filled with a Supreme Court justice, because ultimately that is what I think will happen. I don't think that's how it should happen. I think that they should let the people decide, let the people vote, and do it all after the new Congress and potentially new president is sworn in. But I don't see how that's the way it's going to go down. We left the court, Mark. Did you miss the court, Mark? Military is America's Jobs Program. Kinda.
Take right on 3rd.
Yeah. we're coming to an end of our stream here. We're walking back to the car, Patrick. And when I do, we'll probably call it a stream, but it was a good stream. I feel like we had good conversation. Got to get the word out about basic income, document the march, listen to some very impassioned speeches from the one and only Reverend Wendy Hamilton. You're the lost generation. No sense, no brains, no pride. That's how you see it. I can't really change your opinion. I think my generation, what do I think of my generation? I don't really know. See, like I'm 21 years old, but I actually, like, most of the people I hang out with are older than me, because I actually find, like, most people my age to be into things that I'm not interested in. So I don't know. I can't really speak for my generation. All I know is Zoomers are smart. We have brains. What are you talking about? Zoomers, rise up! Zoomers assemble! Pride in what? Boomers leaving dystopia behind. Cool. I think just generalizations and bad are general. All the young people have no pride, no brains, no heart, no nothing. They all suck. Every single one of them, 100%. They're all awful. And that's my view. Well, generally, generalizations are bad. It's funny. Oh, man, crack me up. It's such a nice day. We're just walking around, just enjoying the day. We're just hanging out on the Zach and Matt Show, the walking podcast. This is called the Walking White Boy Podcast. All right, I'm gonna talk in this voice the rest of the time. What's up, guys? Matt here from the Zach and Matt Show, and today we are going to be talking about why Andrew Yang is the best candidate to win the presidential election in 2024. What's up, guys? Matt here from the Zach and Matt Show. Today we're going to be talking about why Andrew Yang is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump in 2020. Dude, be honest. I think we would have won the election if I used that voice in my videos, because I think there's this complex where if somebody has a British/Australian sounding accent, people just instantly assume that they're smart and they know what they're talking about. So let's test it out. Hey guys, Matt here from the Zach and Matt Show, and currently everything that I say you think is 100% fact, spot on, not because of me, just because of my voice. Okay, that was bad, but whatever. People trust the British. Instantly more credible. Yeah, I agree. You gotta go vote, okay? That was bad. You know, my name is, no, that was bad. I can't do it Obama right now.
But I can always do Trump, okay? Always, it's always on, 100% of the time. 100%.
You need to move to Hollywood, Matt. Oh, hell no. Way too expensive, bro. We had in total like 15, 20 people show up, Patrick. It's got the most Amazon seller support, most annoying people on the planet. Yo, come to Columbia, Maryland. Merriweather District about to be lit post-COVID. Nah, I'm gonna move out of Maryland in the next few years. I just think it's too expensive to live here. No, not Amazon sellers. Seller support, Isaiah. They're useless. I sent them a request to remeasure an item that I currently have at an Amazon warehouse, and they're like, let me read it. I don't know if you guys care about Amazon crap, but we've been streaming so long, it's time to just talk about other stuff. Let me read this. They wrote, we received your request to change the weight or dimensions of FNSKU blank blank blank. However, there is already an existing measurement. Well, that's why I'm asking you to remeasure the product, because I think your existing measurement's wrong. All right, you probably don't care about any of that, but whatever. Thanks, Pat, for the super chat donation to the channel. I appreciate it. They may be, Pat. They may be. No, it's really that they're just, I don't know. They're powerless. Amazon needs to redo their entire system. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing to do with the Matt show, anyway. Dang. Are the comments thinning out or what? Yeah. We're almost back at the car anyway. We're a few blocks away. I'm thirsty. Hey, maybe this would be a good place to call the stream. Mark, I can't. I got to focus on work. So, I'd like to though. Would be nice. But yeah, I think this is a good place to call the stream. So, what is Senator Lee? This is what Senator Lee. My position, if I were chairman of the committee, I couldn't move forward with it. But you'd have to ask Graham what he's going to do. I can't answer that question. Lol. Thanks, AG60. Appreciate ya. We'll catch you, George. We'll catch you, RM Valerdo. We'll catch you, Mark. I'll go on Twitch though. If Twitch gang, you guys want to keep hanging out. But over and out, team. We'll see you guys next time. UPI!